All right, so this is a Sultai Dredge deck. For people that aren't familiar with what Dredge means, Dredge is a mechanic like here on Golgari Thug that says if you would draw a card, instead put that many cards from the top of your deck into your discard pile, and then draw this instead. So basically what Dredge decks do in Magic is they play cards, even if they don't have cards that have Dredge in them, like Gather the Pack, like Grisly Salvage, like Stitcher Supplier here, to take cards off of our deck and flip them into our discard pile, so we can then use cards like Narcomoeba, Prized Amalgam, Haunted Dead, and Creeping Chill to kind of cast spells from our discard pile. We also have an Ashiok here as a way to self-mill, which is sweet, because remember, even if this targets yourself to mill, it still exiles your opponent's graveyard. One card that was really impressive to me when we were playing against this deck was Driven to Despair. So this is a split card where you can cast the front half from your hand and the back half from your graveyard. The front half says until end of turn, your creatures get trample, and whenever they deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. And the back half says your creatures gain menace, and whenever they deal combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. So Driven to Despair, when we've played against this deck, is frequently like you draw 3, they discard 3, like completely swings games that are otherwise very close. So interested to see how this one goes. Let's go ahead and hop on into a league with this one and see how it goes. Sure. Another thing this deck has, which is nice, is we just have 4 Gurmag Anglers as a way to leverage the fact that we're putting a bunch of cards in our bin. Hallowed Fountain. I am having a good morning, Balasar. Thanks for the 9 months. Not fully over being sick, but I did sleep for like 9 hours last night, so that's great. Not blue-white control. Fist bump. Draw Narcomoeba. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. All right, let's gather the pack here. That's sweet. So we get to draw Satyr Wayfinder, and then Narcomoeba is going to trigger, and it's going to drag back Prized Amalgam with it. So if I cast this, I have to delve my Amalgam and my Driven to Despair, so that doesn't sound ideal. So next turn, I'm going to get to cast the Despair part of this card and attack them with 3 menace creatures that each make them discard. Reflector Mage is pretty good. It's a kink in my plan. Satyr Wayfinder, yep. We do actually have some blue mana sources in our deck, so we can cast these Narcomoebas and these Amalgams. Hey, there's a Haunted Dead. That's sweet. I think I just pass here then. And like during their second main phase, we Haunted Dead this back. Because we can Haunted Dead bidding the Prized Amalgam. The work for which archetype, Tom? This is bad for us or bad for spirits? You think it's bad for us? Okay, interesting. Can you explain why? I'm gonna get Amalgam back on their turn, Zek. They go over the top of us, and we have no interaction for flyers. Our clock is fast enough, enough interaction to slow us down. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like I don't know. That game didn't feel particularly close. Gurmag Angler seems bad if they're they've got Reflector Mages and stuff. Ritual of Soot and Trophy seem good. Yeah, sure. So, like, you're saying, like, their good draws beat us. Sure. That doesn't mean a matchup's bad if you, like, lose to their good draws. I'd believe you that their good draws are good. And also, I'd also assume that, like, our average draw is more consistent than theirs. Yeah, like, how did a Lord change that game at all? I think go over, like, it's semantics to a degree, but I think saying they go over the top of us, other than literally flying over, is silly. I don't know. I'm just gonna play the games. We'll see how they feel. I'd be surprised if anybody's played enough matches in this format of anything to really determine what are good and bad. Sure. I'm pretty sure we just keep hands that, like, have spells that, like, flip cards into our discard pile. Obviously should have Grisly Salvage first. The upside to playing Satyr Wayfinder here is that when they pass with Spellcaller mana up, I can just not do anything. Oh, they're in Oketra's Monument deck. That's sweet. So not quite traditional, different. And again, this is the other thing too, like, it's hard to know, like, there's so much variation in these decks too. Like, not only do I think it's premature to, like, make judgments about, like, what's good, bad, or other. Wow, that's a good one. Just double take my land for graveyard cards. Yep. Not only do I think it's not only do you need to play a lot of games to have certainty about what's good, bad, or otherwise, but, like, you also need to understand there's going to be a lot of variation in things. So, like, what one player's doing that makes a matchup good or bad could be different than what another player's electing to do with their deck that makes the matchup good or bad. There's a lot of variation in that way too. Like, this person doesn't even appear to be playing, like, traditional spirits, right? Like, what they're doing appears to be a little bit off. Which, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just, like, it's probably different than, like, blue-white spirits. Yeah, people Like, again, especially in formats that are still developing like this one, in my experience, people frequently like to jump to conclusions about what their opponents are playing and what the matchups mean without having proper experience or information to back it up. Might have been wrong to not trophy that. Yeah, like, we don't even know if they're playing a Lord, right? Like, if they're playing something that gives all their creatures 1/1, okay, we're in trouble. If they're not, like, you know, who knows? No, this needs 5 to flip. Yeah, their deck seems neat. 10 out of 10 into what they're doing. Yeah, like, we have a bunch of Ritual of Soots in our deck, too. They have Selfless Spirit here, though. Does Abby mean we're in danger? Not quite yet. So I have this trophy. So if they flip the Abbey next turn, I can trophy it in response to it flipping. And it still eats their 5 creatures. So if they go land, flip Abbey, try to flip Abbey, we'll trophy the Abbey in response. Which means they can still flip the Abbey the following turn, but they're down 5 dudes. So I assume this is going to blink Bugler. Oh, just, weird. I guess they're trying to draw a land. That makes sense. Rest in Peace is probably the game. So I'm pretty sure the out here is draw one of a Ritual of Soot, so I'm going to trophy the Selfless Spirit. This is a concession attack, just for people who are unaware what I'm doing. There's an off chance they make bad blocks and the chill kills them, but this is a right-click attack and then concede. Okay start for us, better start for them. Caustic Caterpillar sounds great here. Probably better than Fatal Push. Scrounger just gets blocked indefinitely. Now it's game 2, we're up a game. Or we were up a game. We're now tied. Yeah, seems good. Alright, we've been 2 trophies, but that means Gather the Pack has Spell Mastery now, so it could be a draw 2. Huh? I think it's just this to start. Well, you know. Ditch 3 lands while we need to draw a land. Feels magic, man. Four is a lot of Westvale Abbeys. Yeah, I think we're probably dead. I don't think we can afford to stumble here. No idea right now. As always, the answer to your question is if I didn't board in the card, I don't think it's good. So if you think we should board in a card, instead of asking me to tell you why I think it's bad, you should tell me what we should cut and why you think it's good. They have Monument plus a 2-mana creature here. Gonna gum things up real good. No blocks here. All right, Mercy. Not beating that one. That deck the opponent was playing would seem sweet. A lot of solid synergy cards. Some reasonable interaction and Reflector Mage and Deputy and probably Spellcaller hiding out if I had to venture a guess. Bugler hit most of the cards in their deck that we saw. I think Bugler is busted. I think busted's a strong word. I think playable is a good word. We played white human aggro splashing green for Collected Company. That had 4 Buglers in it that felt very reasonable. I bet there's a variety of different ways to build good white aggro in this format. Build a little bit more value oriented like that last opponent. There's probably also a lower to the ground, more 1-drop focus build that plays 4 Brave the Elements that's great. I'd be very surprised if there's not a good Brave the Elements deck in this format. If I was on the draw, I might gamble with this, but on the play, I just can't keep a 1-lander. This hand sucks. Alright, yeah, in. As far as 5s go, this one's pretty good. Ditched a Haunted Dead there. These are my cards. They take the Grisly Salvage. It strands the Angler. Yeah. I mean, like, typical Dredge, right, Tom? Can you explain why Eldrazi playing Precursor Golem in the sideboard? It's probably good against Oko, right? It's like 3/3 bodies. Alright, so there's 7 cards in my bin. If I want to play the Gurmag Angler, I have to delve Haunted Dead or Despair. They have Graveyard Marshal in play, which is like awkwardly good against us. I guess I just do this and delve the Haunted Dead, since they can exile it anyways. And then next turn we'll Despair and empty their hand. Or at least Mind Rot them. I assume they're going to play some blockers here. Yep. So, all our creatures gain menace, which means they have to be blocked by 2 things until end of turn. And when they hit our opponent has to discard a card. So they'll fire up Mutavault, they'll double block the Stitcher Supplier, they'll take 6, discard 2 cards. Oh, it is your graveyard. You're right, this isn't a hate card. Good call. That's fine. I think it's still right. I think my play's probably still right. It's better for us moving forward, right? I think it's probably still right to do this and hit them for a bunch, right? Mirian Crusader. Yeah, that one sounds great. Oh, Modern. Alright, and they're down to 7 here, and I've got 2 flying threats. The Citrus Black hit like more Narcomoebas or Creeping Chills, which sounds great. Found a Scrapheap Scrounger. Found another Driven to Despair. Alright, I'm going to hold on to this land in my hand because I milled over a Haunted Dead. So if I draw like another blank, I can discard the land plus the other blank to pick back up Haunted Dead. These are my very scary monsters. They would like to make you discard your hand, please. So they're going to go to 4. We're going to trade these off, and they're going to lose their entire hand. Yeah, Driven to Despair was the card that really impressed me out of this archetype when we played against it. It's definitely being impressive here. They had Swamp, Liliana's Mastery. Those are good. Those are good ones to clear out. Thanks. They're dead in 2 in the air. We're still at 21. No, I don't think there were really the proper enablers in Standard to make Driven to Despair potentially good. If I recall correctly. Decimator of Provinces. Seems a little all in. I don't know. I believe you that you're getting kills on turn 4, but my question would be, what are the number of games that you're winning with that on turn 4 that you wouldn't win otherwise on turns 5 or 6? Would be the metric I'd be interested to know. I believe it's a rare, right? Yeah, it's a rare. There's 2 Scrapheap Scroungers in my bin. All right, well, now we're going to shock this in and just bring back a bunch of stuff at end of turn. Go. All right, they're at 1 and very dead. Yeah, there's a lot of neat graveyard decks for it. I've seen Oven Cat with Amalgam too. Like you mentioned, Grimwatch. It sounds very reasonable. This is definitely a Ritual of Soot matchup. The question is, what do I want to get rid of? I think I just trim Ashiok against matchups where it's going to get attacked. Which it's definitely going to get attacked here. Yeah, I trim my Driven to Despair on the draw. I don't know that I want like Fatal Pushes or Trophies or anything like that. Maybe I'm supposed to like hedge Leyline and bring in Trophy. I don't know. I'm up a game. I'm just going to bring in the Rituals. That's great, legal. Yeah, this is fine, right? Again, just like lands, things to get things into the bin sounds great. Supplier on one's real good. Just like mills 6 cards, especially against aggro decks. Like enables trade sounds great. Block. As you will. Wouldn't be surprised to see Salvage eat it here. Yep. The sub cost is worth more than the cup of coffee that I could have spent the money on. Thanks for the great content insights. Hey, hope your holidays are going well and you're staying warm in the Midwest. I might try and get out to a couple of the Pioneer events in the Midwest next year. We'll see. I think there's one at the end of March. Alright, no threats, but a couple of free lightning helixes. Sign me up. I actually wouldn't mind drawing some lands here, huh? Let's curve out into these Haunted Deads. You got me. I've been fatal pushed. Hit a Scrapheap Scrounger. Hopefully this mills over a Prized Amalgam. Nope. Bricks. Lands? Lands? Hey, you know. Whatevs. That hit an Amalgam and an Narcomoeba here. The Creeping Chills really make the Narcomoeba points of damage add up really quickly. Like these 1/1 flyers close the game out really quick when your opponent starts at like 14 or 11. It's like, what if I start at 32 and you start at much lower than that? If they attack, I just take it, right? Looks like I crack them for 5 on the backswing. I'm just gonna jump block. Just get my mill 3 on. And hit another Amalgam. Another Creeping Chill. Hit another Amalgam. Sweet. Alright, so I'm actually not going to play this turn because I have a Scrapheap Scrounger in the bin. So we're going to attack with these, and we'll bring back Scrounger during their main 2 to drag Prized Amalgam along with it. I've been enjoying the build run opportunities at Pioneer. I'm working on a deck similar to Wurza. Turns out being a cat food deck with Paradox and Emery that kills a neat Grimwatch. Back for my monthly check-in. Just put together Teamer Oko. Rough rainfall. Bad, yup. Poor Oko. I am optimistic that Oko or Field might be allowed to exist in Historic. Maybe. Deck, what up, Spoko? I appreciate the tier 3 resub. Thanks for that absurd level of support. Remember, you can submit a deck with that every month, or you are also welcome to bump a deck that's already in the queue if you want to see it a little bit sooner. Just gonna Driven here, right? Give my Dark Trample and draw a couple cards. So I assume we'll see trade, take 4, I draw 2. All right, 1 Narcomoeba or Creeping Chill, please. Swing and miss, that's fine. We have Despair to Aftermath back and give Menace next turn, should they have blocker. So next turn we could go Cemetery, Aftermath, Despair, and bring back Scrapheap. Alright, so they're dead and bored. Nice, Kolar. This hand seems a little bit medium, but I think it's keepable. Again, just like mana sources. Grisly Salvage sounds good. This is a good draw. Blue-white control. Boo. Those are good hits. Once again, thank you for your content. Learning your approach to Magic has helped me compete in energy this year and make the championship. Nice, Tom. Good luck this weekend, by the way. That starts Saturday, right? Are they playing Cheerios? Are we getting Cheerioed? I think we're getting Cheerioed, chat. That's a great draw. Alright, so I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this. And then I think the plan next turn is go Driven plus Despair. Or maybe I just like build my board up a little bit more and then Driven plus Despair. They have 2 cards in their hand. Do I just Driven Despair here? Yeah, I think I do. So, give our things Trample. When they damage them, we draw a card. Give our things Menace. When they damage them, they discard a card. Oh, it is Canister. I missed that. He probably wants this match from both sides. It's possible I'm supposed to, like, Haunted Dead this turn and, like, wait a turn to do this with 2 more creatures. But they can only block 2 of my things. So, like, their hand gets empty here. I get to kill some of their stuff. I get to draw some cards. So, yeah, I think this is right. They're probably playing Paradoxical Outcome. So, like, trying to, like, kill some of their stuff before Paradoxical Outcome happens is good. Yeah, the fact that they discarded this, I would assume means they have another PO in their hand. Hey, Greppin, thanks for the quarter of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We don't currently have that much pressure. They're going to draw 4 cards here and then make some more Thopters. Deck seems neat. There's a lot of that in this format still, right? Just a lot of like, oh, that's neat. Oh, that's interesting. Yep. So PO lets them pick up a bunch of things, then draw a bunch of cards. I mean, saying the Pioneer version is worse than the Modern version, I think is a bad vernacular to use. I think what you mean is the Pioneer version is likely lower power level, but this format's also lower power level. So, like, having a lower power level deck is fine. All right, I think I'm just going to play a tap land, and then we'll salvage during their main 2. Board the Weatherlight. Look at the top 5 cards. You may reveal a historic card from among them and put it into your hand. So this finds, this helps them find Saram, right? And Inspiring Sanctuary. Non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise, yep. If we're really good, we'll hit a Despair here. I'm doing this during their second main in case we flip over a... We hit another Despair, okay. So I could Despair and take 2 cards out of their hand. Slippity slip. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I can make them discard 2 cards of their 4. I think I'm supposed to wait. I think I'm going to attack with the Amalgams here. And then deploy Haunted Dead plus Scrapheap Scrounger. Or maybe Haunted Dead plus Gurmag Angler. And then we'll give Menace next turn. Hopefully we get it next turn. So we have 6 creatures total here. So we'll get through with a good deal thanks to Menace on Despair next turn. Press my auto pass key for value here. They hit another PO. That's terrifying. Reservoir. Okay, we could just be dead here. Whew! That's hot. That's very good. Gosh, if they had a Ceram out during all of this, it'd be super gross. The good news is I get to empty their hand here, thanks to Despair. But they're still going to be relatively high life total. And they have Psi to draw a bunch of cards with. I guess they're going to lose a bunch of things here blocking. Hey, Goblin Lair. Yeah, there's I don't always respond to the shillings bumps. So shillings don't actually turn into actual dollars, and if there's other things going on, I don't always have time to respond to every one of them. Okay, so they can sack some stuff to side to get some cards going here. Oh yeah, that was a good one, chat. This is actually just the best card in our deck. Actually just the best card in our deck. Not close. Menace, Trample, Smush. So the front half, again, gives Trample and makes our creature draw a card when they hit our opponent. The back half gives Menace and makes our creatures make them discard a card when it hits them. So this also means they can't just sacrifice their Thopters because I have Trample and they'll discard cards. So we're going to get to crunch them for a bunch here and draw a bunch. One could say that losing this match could drive a person to despair. Yeah, both these decks that we're playing are just phenomenal in terms of like how intricate they are. This format's just fantastic. Definitely have enjoyed being a primarily Pioneer stream. So they're going to 2 here. I get to draw 4. Or no, they're going to 2 and I draw 4, right? I think. So, Creeping Chill is lethal. Swish. All right, Caustic Caterpillar and Assassin's Trophy sound great. Ultimate price is probably good. Destroy target monocolored creature, kills Sai, and it kills their Saram. Wonder if I'm supposed to have some fatal pushes in my deck here too. Wonder if it's crazy to board out the Creeping Chills here. Feel like that's what I have to do to make room for this stuff. It's also very possible Gurmag Angler's not good. Maybe Gurmag Angler's the cut in combination with their stuff. Maybe I want to cut both of these and just like bring in enough ways to kill their stuff. If I keep Sai and Saram off the table, I bet they have a pretty hard time winning. This might be overboarding. This might be overboarding. I'm not really cutting any enablers other than Ashiok, though. Let's try this. Might be cutting too much of my proactive game plan to be too interactive. If we lose this game, there's a good chance I'll become less interactive when I'm on the play. I don't know, what else am I cutting, Percy? That's my question. What else am I cutting? That was the best draw in our deck. There could also be the argument that I want to just, like, not have Caustic Caterpillar and, like, have my only interaction be for their creatures. I think there's a real chance that that's, You need advice on stopping yourself for doing that? Yeah, if you think you're overboarding, stop. If you're playing a proactive deck and you think there's even the slimmest chance that you're boarding in too many cards, board in less cards. If your deck is proactive, less is always ideal if you're uncertain. I'm just cantripping this. My hand doesn't really do anything, and I want to use my mana this turn. I'm gonna shock this in case they play a Saram. This also lets me, like, kill the Saram, untap, draw a land, and play Haunted Dead here. Whereas, like, if I would have put that into play tapped, I wouldn't be able to cast Haunted Dead this turn. So pretty big upside to shocking it in. Low downside. Yeah, not confident I boarded correctly there. I think thinking through it more about the cards we actually care about. I think the Caterpillar and possibly the trophies were overboarding. I'm pretty sure I wanted the pushes and the prices, though. So the problem with that, Wax Papers, is cutting cards that are explicitly bad from your deck is less clear in decks like this that I would refer to as an engine deck. A deck that like is trying to like get a combination of cards together. So like in general, there's cards that aren't great, but you're playing them in your deck because they come with synergies. So cut the bad cards or like look for your cards are the worst is good advice for interactive fair decks. But when you're playing decks like this one, that type of strategy or advice tends to go out the window a little bit. So I could Gurmag Angler delving this away. I don't think I want to do that though. I think I'm probably going to want that. Opponent's playing a ramp deck, so I think being able to like discard a bunch of cards out of their hand is probably going to be valuable. I think one despair is probably not going to be sufficient. Wow, they missed on Rejuvenator. Brutal. Yeah, this is the best card in this deck. This card is the reason why this deck is good. Not close. Hey, Alex, thanks for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Kuntz, if you're in chat, I'd ask that you please stop timing out new mods before I can mod them. Y'all can play your game with mods who get themselves unmodded, but please stop trying to time out new mods before I can give them a sword. It just gives me extra clicks to make. One card from playing a Gurmag Angler this turn. So they've got... This works when they have 7 lands. They have a World Breaker. They do. Woof. So the good news here is I can empty their hand, right? So I get to flashback, this despair, these get menace, so even though this has reach, I hit them and their hand goes empty. Got rid of an Ugin, sweet. And then I think I just pass here. Will Haunted Dead ditch the Amalgam during their second main? Oblivion Sower, rough. It was a good top deck. Yeah, I'm aware. I just talked about it having reach. I played with this card a lot. Gather the Pack's a great draw. Whoa. Oh, that's great. I get to take 2 of these. God, this deck is sick. I did a Prized Amalgam earlier, too. So I have a Scrapheap Scrounger, so I'm going to get to put Scrapheap Scrounger into play during their second maids and Dredge Prize Spell. So we need to fade Ulamog and Ugin, right? That's what we're looking to dodge. All right, so they block 2 3/3s, and they take 2 3 6 7 8 9, and then they die to Creeping Chill. Is your Spatial Contortion? Sure. Thanks for her. If this hits a Creeping Chill, they're still dead. Go. Gotta fade Ugin here. Yes, Ashiok's very reasonable here. Thoughtseize sounds great. I think this is kind of bad because they just like have big chunky blockers. I'm just going to board in 2 Thoughtseize and cut these. There should probably just be 4 Thoughtseize in the sideboard. I don't know why there's 2 copies of Deathrite Shaman here. This card seems very silly. So this hand's a good example of lands and spells that aren't keepable. Thoughtseize is like somewhat appealing, but like we don't have any way to start throwing cards in our discard pile, so definitely want to play catch and release. This hand's actually very reasonable. Any thought on Tulsi Gabbard's lack of a vote on impeachment? I mean, we already knew she was a spineless tool of a coward, right? So like this just confirms it. I hope anybody that had any shred of respect for her lost it with that. She's not running for re-election for a reason. For people that aren't familiar with how Tulsi Gabbard voted, she voted present. I think voting present is more embarrassing than just voting to support him. Because voting present in a way is a vote to support him, but it's also a vote to support him that doesn't, that means you didn't do your job. Well, that's actually great, huh? I just get to, like, driven here. I think I just driven. And, like, draw 2. Let's get set up here. Tulsi Gabbard is running for a token, not Republican spot on Fox News. I'd believe that. Will it get passed in the Senate? It's probably not going to go to the Senate. And no, if it goes to the Senate, it won't get passed there. Not even a little. All right. So do I gather and hope to hit some more Narcomoebas? Or do I just like Thoughtseize plus Despair here? I think I just Thoughtseize plus Despair here. Just like empty their hand. So I want them to discard 2 before they know they're getting Thoughtseized. So that way they make their decision thinking they're going to keep one of their cards. New facts are supposed to be added by the trial in the Senate, but they won't be. Because Mitch McConnell is an obstructionist and borderline traitor. Huh? So I just double gather here? I think I just double gather here. Would I rather Haunted Dead be in my hand or in my graveyard? I think I'd rather it be in my hand. And then I think with Driven in my bin, I'm going to play the Satyr Wayfinder rather than the Gather here. So they only have a bunch of lands. This is the part where we clench against the Tron deck, right? No spells in hand. Immediately play Sanctum of Ugin and draw a massive spell. Magic's fun. Tron sucks. I'm gonna click submit. I'm happy with how I sideboarded. It's our plan for game 3 is to be marginally luckier. Some things never change. Yeah, Hype to Death. I decided this year that my life is too short to drive 2+ hours to visit family members who are voting against my children's access to affordable health care, and they're voting to destroy the planet that they have to live on. So I'll be happier and have more time not doing that. So I'm gonna choose mental health and spending time with people who I actually enjoy rather than subjecting myself to that. Morning, Jazzlet. I think here's something that I think a lot of people don't understand. Mitch McConnell gets more flack than he deserves because he's a face man in a safe Senate seat. Every GOP senator is just as complicit and responsible for everything Mitch McConnell does as Mitch McConnell. Because if they weren't okay with everything that he does, they could change him being the one making those decisions. So Mitch is just the figurehead that gives people someone to hate while giving cover to all of the Republican senators in less safe seats. I don't think this hand's good enough, huh? Like this into this isn't very strong. This hand's very good. Did I bottom fish here? Is it crazy to bottom fish? I think I bottom fish or Driven to Despair. Which is it? It's probably Driven to Despair, actually, right? Fish is just a lot of power. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Yeah, people who try to justify that family's more important than anything else, regardless of the actions that they're taking, what they're actually saying is you should tolerate people who are abusive and hateful and hurtful just because. There's never an appropriate reason to tolerate people who are abusive or hateful or hurtful towards you or your family. Just full stop. This is actually a tough choice. Both their 3s are pretty good. I think it's just Courser. I think it's just Courser. The problem with Grazer is while Grazer feels bad to play against, it takes an extra card out of them. So like, this is gonna stop me in the long run just as much as this does. Landtier's actually great. Sweet. And we actually hit 2 Driven to Despairs there. I guess they have 2 blockers, though. If I knew I was going to do this into Narc plus Driven to Despair, I might have taken this instead of that. Wow, they drew Courser anyways. What terrible beats. That's so unfortunate. Well, so I can't Gurmag Angler this turn. Yeah, Thoughtseize bug, exactly. Yeah, this ended up working out about as poorly as possible as it could for us. Hopefully we draw another Prized Amalgam next turn. Would be our best possible draw. Because we have Haunted Dead in the bin. So, we're definitely doing this. Then the question becomes, do I want to shock in this land and Haunted Dead this turn? Or do I want to just Stitcher Supplier? I think I want to just Stitcher Supplier. I think I'm going to hit them with these and Stitchers. All right, so their hand is empty. Scrapheap and Haunted Dead in the bin. I think I'm going to hold on to this land for now, because I probably want to discard it to Haunted Dead next turn. I mean, we're not full on clench mode, because I don't actually have that much mana, right? They only have a little bit of mana. Again, hoping to draw another Amalgam this turn. So, I'm actually going to main phase Haunted Dead here because I want this Overgrown Tomb in my bin to delve away with the Gurmag Angler. A lot of the cards in my bin have value right now. So this Amalgam's coming back. The lands are easy delves. The Ashiok's an easy delve. Thoughtseize is a delve. And then I can delve a Satyr Wayfinder and keep a creature for the Scrapheap Scrounger. Keep the Driven to Despair as well. They get to tick Blast Zone to 2 here. Yep. Huh? Do I do this and offer this? I think so. Take 1 or mill me 3 cards. Huh, I'm kind of surprised they're not Blast Zoning this turn. Old Ugin on top. Putting out my Gurmag Anglers here was probably wrong. They're good against Ugin. We were lucky to have drawn 1. Yeah, and I guess if they Blast Zone, they're further from the Ugin. So that makes sense, I guess. So they're taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here, down to 8. One of the Grazers dies. I have a Scrapheap Scrounger to bring back at the end of their turn. Yeah, look at all those cards they have to discard. Them breaking out a land here on Korshrigan is very fortunate for us. We are definitely on the just a space smash face until the end of time plan. Sure. Go, go, go! Charge! I could sit here and like do a bunch of calculations about like what's optimal in terms of blocks, but the optimal is definitely just attacking with everything. Why didn't they block something? I'm so confused. I think I'm going to continue holding on to the Prized Amalgam in my hand, because I can bring back Scrapheap this turn. Good. Bless America. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Vomit. Ugh. We were so fortunate for so long. And that was just like the single best card they could have had on top of their deck. Are they still dead? Maybe they're still dead. Hopefully they're still dead. I haven't counted. Maybe they're still dead. That was their single best hit, but they might still be dead. They go block, block. They shoot this. I think they're still dead. I just said, are you kidding me? Because I didn't count because we're just on the attack with everything every turn plan. I believe after counting, they appear to still be dead. They block this, they block this. We bring back Scrapheap. They can shoot this or this, and then they take 6. I think they're still taking 6, yeah. Yeah, looks like they're still dead. Just best possible still dead. I don't know why I thought that was match number 5. All right, well, we're 3-1 at least. Got our burrito locked up. We are going to do a bit of Mythgard after this. I have to be offline by like noon 30 or so. So I've got like an hour or so to play some Mythgard after we wrap up with this league. Too much dog. Thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So 2 wins get you your money back on Moto? No, not even close. If you go 2 and 3, you lose $5. $3-2 gets you plus $2. But the difference between going 2-3 and 3-2 is $7. What's my opinion on Pelosi holding back sending the articles? I think Pelosi holding back sending the articles of impeachment is incredibly considerate of her. Based on how many bills are sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk, I can only assume the Senate is incredibly overworked, and sending them the impeachment vote at this time would be unnecessary and rude. I think she should probably hold the numbers to herself until they vote on every other bill that they've sent to his desk. Milled 3 lands, tilt. Yep. We're going to lose our Grisly Salvage. All right, 1-1 beatdowns. Go. Actually, an okay draw. Even bad lightning helix will be pretty okay here. I would like to block. Yeah, can't see my 3-3 for 3 here. It's kind of just like, whatever. I'm super happy with this attack. Easy double block. I think we're like pretty happily regardless of what they do there. I think I'm actually just going to attack with both of these. Let's just get aggressive. You got it. Weird to me if they were going to do that they didn't like do that and attack me for 4 last turn. Maybe they just didn't want to kill the Citrus Supplier. What's the difference between 4-1 and 5-0? I honestly don't know. I put all 4 Titans into play on turn 3 and attack them. Sounds like modern. All right. Hit me, dealer. Well, we hit another Prized Amalgam. Any card that puts cards into our graveyard is a good draw at this point. We hit another Prized Amalgam and a Narcomoeba. Say hello to my little friends. Okay, just like board into rituals as a reset button. Cut an Ashiok into Driven Despair. What's the best Fatal Push plus Thoughtseize shell you like right now? Honestly, Black Aggro is still pretty good. Like, I know we're currently dumpstering it, but I think that archetype is fine. This deck's been reasonably impressive. It's felt decent. It probably sucks against Graveyard Hate. I think there should be 4 Thoughtseize in the sideboard because of that. Just like board in 4 Thoughtseize when you expect Graveyard Hate. 4 Thoughtseize is also really good against blue-white control. Is Vampires a thing in Pioneer? Maybe. There's been some Vampire Devotion style shells that people have played that have posted some 5-0s. I do think decks that aren't this one, like if you're not doing an unfair graveyard thing, having some Graveyard Hate in your sideboard in Pioneer is probably reasonable because this deck and others are lurking around where they're good. So if you can play like Grafdigger's Cage or stuff like that, etc. This is going to be our last match of Pioneer and Magic today. I have something to do this afternoon, so we're going to do a little bit of Mythgard after this match. I think we're going to play some 3-color control. Then I'll be back tomorrow with more Magic and some Arena. I'm going to keep this on the draw. If we had a second land, the hand is very good. Not Rainbow Root, actually. I haven't really liked Rainbow Root. Isn't very good against the red-orange aggro deck that everybody's been playing. I have a blue-yellow splash green control deck. It felt a little bit okay. Sure. Now we really need to draw some lands. Land. Alright, well, they kept a bad hand, but so did we. The 2v2 was kind of a headache. It's just so busy. I don't think that's really a format that I enjoy. I think we're done here. I'm going to board in Trophy and Caustic Caterpillar for the 3rd game. I think one more draw to land. We like find our way into some Gurmag Anglers, we could be okay. They should probably take this card. Yeah, it was long and chaotic, was a good descriptor. I think it would be fun if I was like on voice chat or knew the other person I was playing with, but like playing with randoms, it just wasn't very enjoyable. This is the worst. It's just like, you're like, well, I guess I'll keep playing. Yeah, 2v2 is basically 2-headed giant. That's correct. If these gather the packs, find me Gurmag Anglers, we could maybe win this game. But I don't currently have a way in my deck to take this cage off the table. Post board. Post board, we're gonna, for the third game, we're gonna bring in caterpillars and trophies. Not attacking, so I don't want to lose it to Mutavault. We've got 3 Gather the Pack. So if these 3 Gather the Packs turn into 3 Gurmag Anglers, we can maybe beat them down, especially with Haunted Dead to follow things up. Am I gaining 3 here? I'm gaining 3 here. Alright, didn't mill a fish, skill game. That's actually a good draw. Go. Oh yeah, I should have brought in Trophy regardless because of Kalitas. Yeah, these rituals are silly. Let's not board them in here. Get rid of all these Driven to Despair here. It doesn't seem like what this matchup's about. I'm gonna bring in 2 prices to kill Kalitas. What am I trimming? I'll cut a couple Creeping Chills. Actually, Chill still works when they have Cage out, right? Chill works through Cage, it's not casting it. I need one more cut here. Yeah, Supplier blocks. Should we gather the pack? This hand's very good. It's got an anti-hate card. It's got Graveyard Enablers. It's got 2 lands. It's got fish to play through their Grafdigger's Cage. Could only be better with Stitcher Supplier on 1. Right on time, Creeping Chill. Welcome to the party. Yeah, sorry, I need to turn my space heater on again for a minute. It's real cold down here. The basement is chilly, chat. You gonna lock me up? Throw away the key opponent? Am I the bad man? Okay. Nope. Alright, sick. On Android, you can sub on mobile with Prime. I'd bet iOS has some kind of weird rules against it. If you load my Twitch page in your web browser and set it to request desktop site, you can technically do it that way too. It's awkward, but it works. Another Creeping Chill. Okay, so what am I doing here? So I'm definitely attacking for 5. And then I'm bringing back Haunted Dead. I'm bringing back Haunted Dead this turn. But the question is, do I want to discard the 4th land or the Creeping Chill? I think I'd rather discard a Creeping Chill, because getting more lands into play gets me closer to casting the second Angler too. Yes, Industrious Revolution. Not only that, but again, you shouldn't ask yourself the question if you can do something. You should ask yourself the question if you should do that thing. And I don't know if that card solves any problems that we have with our deck. Would be my response to you. So the core of this deck felt great. Felt super, super reasonable. These Deathrite Shaman seem real silly in the sideboard. I think not playing 4 Thoughtseizes in the sideboard is a bit of a miss. Not only is Thoughtseize a card that helps you not die to decks that might be faster than you, but it's also a card that like takes graveyard hate away from people if you weren't expecting it. I think that's my only real suggestion for things that we played from this list that was in a random 5-0 jump. I don't know, maybe this Ashiok is worse than like the 4th Satyr Wayfinder just because of synergy with Scrapheap Scrounger, but this card can really mill through a lot of things for you, which is neat. Does 4 every single turn. It's also like graveyard hate in your main deck. I feel like if I wanted graveyard hate in this deck, like for the mirror or opposing graveyard decks, I feel like I'd play more Ashiok in the sideboard is what I would play, just because it's an enabler for us while also being graveyard hate for them. So rather than having something weird like Deathrite Shaman as graveyard hate, I think I would just play more of this if that was something I was worried about. Yeah, 4 Assassin's Trophy could be fine. I actually don't hate the split with Caustic Caterpillar, just because Caustic Caterpillar is a card that fights graveyard hate that you can find with Gather the Pack and Grisly Salvage. So like there is upside to having a split on these. I don't know, like exactly what anti-hate cards you want to be playing and what interaction you want to be playing is, again, like one of those things that's like gonna change as the format develops. Like if there's more Cages and Rest in Peace, then like things like Abrupt Decay are good. If there's more Leyline of the Voids and Kalitas's and things like Assassin's Trophy are good. So what's optimal is really one of those things that you're just like guessing at until you figure out where the format's gonna like settle at. Thanks for the 23 months, Ed Bingo. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Overall, had 2 great Pioneer decks this morning, so happy with both of those. It's going to be it for Magic for today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with a little bit of Mythgard.